Hello friends, this is video number 6 of our series, the SSL server connection. In this video we'll talk about the client certificate. Each client machine requires 3 files: the client certificate, the client key, and the intermediate certificate. These 3 files has to be copied to the client, each and every client machine, so there will be a connection can be made between the client machine and the server. Let's start creating these 2 files, the client certificate and the client key. The first thing we need to do is, as you know, the client key. We save it at the file intermediate, private. We give it a name, Postgreslq key.pem, and we use the 2048 bit for encryption. Okay, give it a passphrase, a strong one. The client key have been created. Now we need to create the client CSR file, certificate signing request. As usual, sudo open SSL request config intermediate open SSL.cnf, and we use the key we have just created. And then new, then the output file will be intermediate certificate signing request and Postgreslq csr.pem. This is the certificate signing request of the client certificate. Enter the passphrase. Now we need to add the details of the user. Of course, it's your own user. You need to add the user details, and when you reach to the common name, in this case you will not enter a fully qualified domain name. No, you will enter either an individual name or an email address, or let's say an organization name. So there will be no fully qualified domain name, a regular name, an email, or an organization name. In my case, again, and sorry for that, I'm using the same details. So let's say StudyMate Pro, and the unit is IT, and the email, supposing we will use Pro Horizon Tech at gmail.com, and the info the email at prohorizon.net. Okay, skip these things, 2 things. Now the certificate signing request for the client certificate is ready. Now this CSR, it's normally we can sign it with our intermediate certificate, means it is self-signed, which is regular for the client certificate. and no need to get a global certificate authority. And the way to do that, to get the client certificate, is sudo OpenSSL x509 request xfile intermediate OpenSSL.cnf, the extensions. Here we need to use the extension which is user underscore cert. If you remember, in our OpenSSL file, OpenSSL.cnf file, we have created multiple extensions for the user, for the server, for the client, for the root. In this case, for the client certificate, we will use the user underscore cert extension. Now we need to use our intermediate certificate. And we use our CA key. And then we use CA create serial. Then we use the input file, which is the CSR. We have just created it. And the output file will be and we give it a period of a little bit over a year. Again, passphrase. Now the client certificates have been created. Now we can take a look over this client certificate. Okay, as you're looking now, this is the issuer, which is the intermediate company. Now this is the client, which is, we just have entered the email of it and the name and the algorithm and the encryption. And again, this is false. The client certificate cannot sign and trust other certificates. Now let's change the mode of it, which we will make it 640 again for the intermediate search Postgreslq search.crt. Now the final step is that we verify this certificate to the chain of trust certificate. This is the root chain certificate, and we write our client certificate. If we get OK, that means the client certificate have been authenticated by the root chain certificate. Oh, sorry, mistake typing. Okay, again, now we have got the OK, which means our client certificate have been authenticated by the root chain certificate. By doing so, until this point, we have created our client certificate, and we have created our client root client key. These two files, we will copy them to the client machine along with the intermediate certificate, and these three things we will use them in our next video. I will show you how to copy them to the client machine and how to start the connection. Thank you very much for watching.